Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Indiana Jones, the original trilogy. I believe that's the name of this game. And the game has not asked me to save until this point, so let's go ahead and save. Wow, I would have had to replay the entire first section. Now I want to run around from what was either the first level or the prologue and see if we can activate or get the game to lag at all. So here we are at Barrett College, which is the college I think Indiana Jones is from. You never get past this point, and there's several different things. Here we have Indy's office, which has, I think, several possible collectibles here. Let's see. And he can't decipher hieroglyphics apparently. And he's not a thuggy character, so he can't do anything here. See, it just says no. And see, this is silver, so if that's gonna break it. Here we have our cutscenes, which we haven't seen too many of these already. We got the first 5 in the first level. You know, it's weird that the lagging is happening on Indiana Jones in particular, and it's starting to make me question if the original versions of Lego Star Wars were laggy too, because I've seen some stuff online saying that that's the case. Here we could buy the first 5 secret things, but they don't really help any. It's a really nicely laid out area, and notice there's no loading happening here for me. Here we can unlock a few characters, or purchase a few characters that have been unlocked. We're in the library. I'm expecting somebody to go shh. But here's a courtyard. I'm not getting any of that lagging, so it's possible that in just going and turning the FSAA off, I have fixed it. The solution I saw was to turn off, just lower the resolution down to 800 by 600. The art room is where you make your custom characters. These are pretty empty places, but I kind of prefer this compared to, say, Lego Harry Potter, because Lego Harry Potter's had us running around Diagon Alley and Hogwarts looking for a lot of stuff. And you can break a few things, but in comparison to a modern Lego game, there's practically nothing here that's breakable. And over here we have our collection, and we got 8 of the 10 items here. And apparently I can just buy the artifact pieces if you just want to cheat and skip the whole thing. Wow, that's an interesting move. That seems very kid friendly. I wish they hadn't lost that in Lego games. That seems really good. And then if we pick up this with the whip or without the whip and put it there, we activate this stuff, which means we would have to find the key. And I think their key is somewhere in Barrett College, and we could probably find it right now. And it takes you to bonus levels, I believe, so we don't need to do any of that right now. At least in this section, it's running well. Another argument I heard that, well, I saw online that might explain the lagginess is these games are just not compatible with Windows 7 and 64-bit operating systems. One or the other, or both of those two things. Let's see, here's our level 1, the Lost Temple. We flew all the way there and to here, and let's begin. Sorry if that took an extra 5 minutes, but we really needed to do that. So that probably is a code to unlock something right there if you put it in the character code. OP1 TA, whatever the last part of that was, TA5. So that almost certainly unlocks something if you put it in there, but I don't see a reason to do that. Not right now, at least. So now we're moving into the main story of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It seems kind of... I guess since this was the first movie in the series, they needed to kind of explain what Indiana Jones's deal was. And get into the action kind of fast, while not also having you be far along due to this. He's reading an SS symbol. The S's are almost like swastikas, but not enough to get banned in Germany. Man, this cutscene looks good. And see, what's weird about this character, this girl, is she shows up in the first movie, and then she doesn't show up in the second movie, and then she kind of comes back in the fourth movie, I think, is the way it goes. So I don't think she's in the third movie, but she might be. But she definitely comes back, and eventually I think this is the girl that marries Indiana Jones at the very end of the fourth movie. And that seems a little weird, because it kind of breaks the character of Indiana Jones being somewhat of a womanizer. So in standard Lego fashion, although it's become less of a standard, all females in Lego can jump twice as high, which honestly I guess you would more put towards Super Mario Brothers 2 tradition, where Princess Peach could jump taller, higher. And see, Nintendo has since changed that, where now it's Luigi that jumps higher, and Princess Peach jumps slightly higher but floats. I do not like the design of this lift, but I suppose it works well enough. So the weird thing that's happening here is we're spending half, or at least a quarter of this level, wandering around doing collectibles. There's no enemies yet. There's nothing going on. Walking here doesn't do anything. Walking to this door doesn't automatically open the door or anything like that. Like Lego ceiling fans. Let's see, what does this do? Nothing. We just built a shelf. And there's a fire over here that doesn't even really make sense yet. Yeah, it's not until you pick up the key and unlock the door And there we've had our first lag. Is it the fire explosion that messed it up? Or what? Like, all of that right there doesn't make any sense. So, what do we turn down now? As we're lagging now in the menu. It really feels like it's just some kind of random issue. Because the spinning of the treasure chest in the lower left hand corner is causing lag. Adaptive difficulty, don't need that. But we'll leave it alone. So, depth of field? Maybe? We'll turn that off and see if that works. If any... I guess we could assume that the FSAA being turned off helped. I think really what it comes down to, though, is that the game... we need to pick up things and throw them at this guy. I think what it really gets down to, though, is that the engine of this game actually cannot run properly at all beyond 800 by 600. I just don't think it was ever designed to do anything more than that. And it's not really a terrible thing, but it then kind of makes you question why I'm killing these guys in multiple ways here. Why they would give you the option. You would think they would just test it and say no. So here's the story. The medallion that he was coming to get from the girl, which means he wasn't really interested in the girl, and she's upset about that. Oh, she was upset with that. Just beat somebody with a chair. Can't pick up the table. The medallion's in the fire, and they need it back to get the instructions to make the staff to put it on, and then the staff gets placed in a hole in the map room, and then the map room is used to show where the Ark of the Covenant was buried. And that seems pretty simple, but I tell you, in the movie, getting to what I just said, getting to the end part of what I just said, takes at least half the movie. It certainly feels like that. There we go, we got some Lego guns to use. Now, interestingly enough, here they did it funny. In the movie, he burns his hand with one side of the item. In the game, he burns his behind with it. But it's interesting that they let the game shoot guns. And there must have been some pushback from this, because in none of the other Lego games do I recall seeing a gun. Even these handgun things. And very recently there was a leak of a Mega Bloks Halo game, specifically because Lego would not sign a deal with Microsoft and do Lego Halo because it had too many guns. So then eventually, this happened a long time ago, eventually Mega Bloks signed a contract with Microsoft for Halo, and you can now find Mega Bloks Halo characters, and we may very well, with the renewed interest of the leak, see a Mega Bloks Halo game, and that very possibly could be a beginning of a whole series of Mega Bloks. Let's see. Now this guy, I think, is looking for SS agents, and so notice how they're crawling through chest-high snow here. I'm not sure what specific area this is, if it's Siberia or it's someplace cold. Here we can get on our llama, but I gotta figure out how to get the llama to move. I'm hitting all the buttons. Apparently llamas don't jump. Alright, well, you may just only be able to use the llama for that one section. Here we've got a torch, several torches. Here's a good reason for a torch. Blow that up. In the Indiana Jones movie, much like the Star Wars game, kind of never stops playing. I think there are better musical cues in the Indiana Jones soundtrack that allow you to kind of just play a few lines of the song versus where in Star Wars particularly you have to play a lot more for it to even be recognizable. So this needed to be placed there, and she can't fix blue things without a wrench, and now she can fix things. And see, that's, I think, a better way for LEGO games to go. Instead of specific characters having abilities, just allow the player to play as the one character they want to play as. Because say you were a huge Indiana Jones fan and you wanted just to play as Indiana Jones the whole game, then that should be something you're capable of doing. Apparently, though, that was something only the girl here could do. I wish I knew her name. Let's see. Marion. Okay, so that's her first name. What's her last name? I think Indiana Jones was supposed to be able to jump. Come on. Like, he's not making it. Like, he's just bouncing his head. And there's nothing she can do. Nor can she get the other character to teleport. Like, if you come all the way over here, they won't do anything. And see what this shiny thing is, I have no idea. But it doesn't seem like it's an important item, or it's something that you have to dig up. And see, that would allow the alpacas. You probably dig something up there to allow the alpacas or the llamas through. So I'm gonna walk here, and to walk you can't get up here. There's no the 1 or 2 stud difference in height makes it so you have to jump. But then we're here. And then he gets it. And all of a sudden, so I have to kind of wait till he's there and then give him enough room to work his way over. At this point I can jump over here, and now I can do over that. So instead of seeing engine errors, which we've seen a lot of in LEGO games, we're seeing actual just video game bugs. And that's interesting because when I saw the description that said I should just turn down the resolution to the 800 by 600, it wasn't just for a solution to the problems of the game lagging. It was a solution to all the bugs. And I think at the end of the day, I'm probably going to have to follow that suggestion. I mean, even if the game stops lagging, which, heck, we haven't seen it lag for a little while, that doesn't really fix the issue of getting stuck in the floor. Alright, Lego, push this over here. Push this over here. The Lego push puzzles would make a lot less sense if it weren't for the fact that they put these floors under it. It's very helpful. And then we see a lag again, so... So, it's not really fun to have to sit here and try and... We'll turn bloom off. And try and identify what the issues are. We could try to turn off enhanced effects and enhanced graphics too, but we'll just keep moving. One lag is one lag too many, and if your first hour of gameplay is bugging this, in all honesty, you should just get a refund. And I'm already to the point where I have said that Lego games should be played on consoles, because obviously TT Games or WB just don't care about PC. So only small characters can fit through this, and Marion is not a child, so they should have phrased it as only children can fit in through this, but then previously it was Yoda, and Yoda's not a child, but he was a small character. There is also a certain level of weirdness that is here, because I don't recall in the movie them finding any temple or anything like this. Honestly, I think in the movie they just have the bar fight and that's it. There is no scene outside, and this may very well be just an example of them adding more to the video game than actually existed, to make it more of a video game. Maybe that's part of an issue with Lego games in general, is that if you're going to base them off movie properties, like any game based off movie properties, you're going to have to do a lot of work and add things in between the scenes of the movie, because a 2-hour movie simply cannot be stretched into to a 10, 20, 30, 60-hour game without adding scenes and dialogue and content. Or even if you did try to take a 2-hour movie and turn it into a 10, 20-hour game and not add content, the only way you could accomplish that would be by making the levels very difficult. See, this issue here, an inability to jump, is hurting me. It's really hurting me. Like, I actually can't move forward in the game. And you can't walk up here, so you have to jump. And then that's it. Just something about it. And look, I can even trigger the lagging by jumping and getting my feet, I think, stuck through the floor. And then once I tapped A lot and worked my way through it, it broke out of the lag. But now we're having the same issue with Indy, where his foot, I believe, is constantly getting 1 pixel below what the game thinks is appropriate because of a simple factor of resolution. It seems like their physics engine is tied directly to the graphics engine. So when we go back to effects, the only thing we have left is shadows. And I don't think that's what's gonna fix it. Like, I seriously doubt we had lagging there and problems because of a shadow issue. So here's a reference to one of the Star Wars movie with the guy frozen upside down in the cave. I think this is Star Wars Episode 5 that this reference is referencing. But unless I have some fire or something, I don't think I can actually melt the pieces. So unless I find a torch. I think I'm done. So we need a key here. And again, I don't believe there were any scenes that was anything like this. We can tell clearly there are things that would have been, we could have dug up if we had a character with a shovel, and we'll do that in free play. Have to get right up on them, or maybe we'll do it right now since we just found the shovel. That's the key. And that lowers the rope. And with a lowered rope, we can come over here. Come over here, come over here, here, and I think I was supposed to move this. So we'll try to cheat here and get Indy up to that point and then move him over to the next point. It's kind of a simplistic statue compared to modern Lego games. You would see it done with more pieces even if they weren't actually to scale. I feel like the scale aspect in particular got thrown out the window. I'm standing on something. It takes 2 people. And again, I barely was able to jump there. And you have to walk close to the person so that their AI seems to work, or their physics seem to work. Something or other is not working there. Let's see if Marion can solve these. You need a book to translate hieroglyphs, so we don't have a book. So we just walk out in the next section. Let's see. So we have to figure a way, I think, through this area first. Or maybe not. Maybe you don't have to do anything. I'm standing on a heavy paddle. You stand on a heavy paddle. Didn't do anything. Okay. Must be something more I need to do first. Pull down statue. That looks like something if we had a torch we could throw fire in it. Maybe we'll move the alpaca onto this. No, they don't. They don't like walk or jump. So I pick up this, and it says it goes this way. And this guy is totally blocking off that. And this is a silver one. And we can't go over this way. So then we have to just wonder, are we supposed to do this? I mean, this seems more just like a separate section than any gameplay element. There's a gun up there. Do I need to go back one screen and get a shovel? I can come one screen and get a torch. And that got me that. But do I really need to go back one thing to get a shovel? There's a bazooka up there, and I know the bazooka it would blow things up. And there's no shovel over here, right? And it just seems kind of silly that I'd have to go all the way back. Like, really, really far back. To get the shovel and then come back this way. This one. And what am I even trying to shovel? Why did I just do all of that? Like, clearly the solution is to stand on this and stand on this, and maybe one person stands on this and we get this guy on this. Oh, it is. And again, I can't jump up, which, so I don't even really need to do this. Now, to turn off enhanced graphics though, you must restart the game for the effects to take place. So, we will see in the next recording if turning off enhanced graphics fixes everything, or if it really is just a resolution thing. And I'm more of the opinion it's a resolution thing. That would make a lot more sense than even the enhanced graphics. So With the bazooka, you can destroy silverish things, I think. But I lost the bazooka. Do you only have a few shots with it? Like, can we target the blue thing? Up there, yes. Can we target that? Yes. Can we target that? Yes. And see, my gun is blinking red. And it locks up again. It's funny, the audio. It seems really strange that I can't blow up these things. Yeah, and so you're limited on your shots, which, again, since there was never any games in the LEGO series that allow guns again, as far as I recall, I guess when you start to, there probably are guns and I'm just missing a lot of them, or not thinking of it, because certainly there were lightsabers and blasters in the Star Wars series. LEGO clearly makes an example to its no weapons, no realistic guns policy. The way it's phrased, where they say no realistic guns, is specifically so that they can make exceptions for the Star Wars series. But still, even in comparison to Indiana Jones, where the movies kind of do have a moderate amount of gunplay going on, something like Halo is non-stop gunplay. I'm standing on fire, apparently. The cutscenes look pretty good. Like, it always feels like in these games you could double, maybe have to triple the cutscenes, and you could turn it completely into a movie. Right back to a movie. And in a lot of ways, that's kind of what the LEGO series has done, is they've stopped even bothering to make full-length story-based games, and instead, boy, does that sound weird. Instead, they've decided to just have cartoons in LEGO versions. There's a LEGO Batman movie about to come out. The full 2 theater movies are getting made with LEGO versions instead of LEGO Batman video games, which we got 3 LEGO Batman video games, so we were served pretty well there too. But it's probably easier just to animate now than it is to actually have a gameplay, and that kind of sucks. It would really suck if the LEGO series of games or style of games went away forever. It is going to go away from my channel, as we are down to just a handful of LEGO games to cover, and then that's going to be it. Much like we are done with this recording. That is it. So I have to exit out and start back in, so we'll end up in Barnet College. Good thing I decided to go to Barnet College before I quit, but I guess I wouldn't have had an option to quit. They're putting the saving in the wrong place here. If you just sit on the continue screen and your computer crashes or dies, you're not going to be in a good position. So, the good news, I suppose, would be there's very little more we can mess with. While there's a massive number of combinations on the options, as the game is lagging here still, if enhanced graphics, after we start, if turning that off, if that doesn't fix it, then we kind of only have texture low quality as our next test. And if that doesn't fix it, then we just need to go back to default on everything and go to 800 by 600. I can't even change the refresh rate, so that shouldn't be an issue anyways, but it shouldn't even really be a question, but whatever. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and comment and make them and watch every second of my videos, because all that helps me with YouTube. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.